3 years ago, Alex and I started dating, and ever since then, we've been doing all our traveling together. You know, there's definitely this nervous excitement part when you travel on your own. You feel there's some kind of strength inside you, but when you travel together, it's always more fun. And I think it's a lot more thought-provoking to travel with a companion.
I didn't know how to travel with somebody. I had to learn to compromise, which was very hard. We were just going to the place, visited some tourist, main sites, but then we didn't talk to strangers that much because it was kind of hard to approach them because it's two of us, you don't have the reason to approach because you have your partner and you can discuss whatever you want.
When we travel together with Alex, he always asks a lot of questions, and I do too. And we discuss the new places that we go to, the people, the culture, the food. And I think the traveling experience with him is always more enriching and more valuable.
Since we were still at school, we decided to apply for a semester at sea program. It is basically a huge ship traveling across the world. We visited 15 countries. We went all the way across Africa, South America, then finished in the States. We were getting the experience that you cannot get when you are traveling as a regular tourist.
This is so cool. We're in a cathedral in the center of Havana, Cuba.
And that is the beauty of traveling. To find out about cultures, traditions, language, to pick up some history behind. We became travelers again, not regular tourists. Because we spent so much time traveling together, I forgot what it takes to travel alone. And that's what I'm trying to find out. I've been always looking for adventures. In 2010, I decided to travel alone across Europe on a bicycle.
Хочу вам показать, что я научился делать за последние 3 дня. Вот это что. Ездить на велосипеде без руля. Оп-оп-оп.
My parents were against my trip. They were terrified to lose me.
И тем более, когда снимаешь, намного сложнее.
At first, I just wanted to find out whether I can do it by myself. The very first night, I put up a tent, and then I fall asleep. And then all of a sudden, something sniffing. I always had a pocket knife with me because, I didn't have any protection, so this is the only thing I had. And I took out the pocket knife, and then also the flashlight. And I went out of the tent, and I started looking, and there was a fox. Can you imagine the fox looking at me with eyes? And then I was so scared because that was the first time I'm seeing the fox. And I said, hey, go away, get out. And it's it got scared and ding 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 and and just left. After this incident, I started being more cautious and only chose places with no people around to sleep at night. However, that strategy had some drawbacks as well.
Вот, а вот там вот мне не нравится, там большущие тучи идут, и не хотелось бы попасть под дождь.
After I stepped on German's land, I put up a tent and rain started pouring heavily. All my clothes bags were soaked. It was very hard, so I was covering myself with everything I can to cover from the condensation and just to try to fall asleep. It was terrible. I was alone in the middle of nowhere with no people around to help me. In the morning, I had to decide to continue my journey, disregarding the entire struggle or to quit. I remember sitting in park all wet, writing in my journal that life is like a zebra. Right now there is a black stripe, and soon there will be a white one. All of a sudden, a German guy approached me. His name was Bernhard. He was a priest. He said that he knows a family that might help me. That was the best moment in my journey. I was saved. They let me stay for the night, which was really nice of them. On the next day I had to leave, and at the train station Bernhard gave me a card that I wear in my wallet every day until now. It's like my talisman. I was about to abandon my journey, but I went further, and it definitely worked. I can say for sure that I became more confident and grew a lot during that trip. For this trip I took it from a friend of mine. Okay, see you. I'm going to see Stop Pyramids. It is not that far from here, but it will be quite a good biking trip for sure. Let's drink some water. It feels different. I would put it this way. It feels different when you're traveling alone, when you already used to travel with someone. It didn't feel unique or something. It didn't feel special because you don't because you don't have anyone to share the experience with.
So, for example, took this trip today on my own to a state park in California to go hiking, and it's great, it's beautiful, but I think this trip would be more fun and a lot greater if Alex was here, because, you know, I have a lot of interesting thoughts that I want to share with him, and he's not here. And when I look at the ocean and the scenery, my first thought is, you know, oh, I wish Alex was here to see this.
The higher you get, it feels like everything that is like at the bottom, like cars and houses, it feels so insignificant. That's actually the other point why traveling is good for you, because you understand how big the world is and how insignificant you are. I guess that's at the end of my trip. It's hard to say how it's better to travel alone or with somebody.
One of my favorite books is called Dr. Zhivago, and there is a thought there: happiness is only real when shared. And I think the same can go for traveling. Traveling is only real when shared.
During my trip, I felt that something wasn't there. If she was here, it would be so much more beautiful, like several more times.